What's up YouTube? What's going on? In today's new video, what I'm going to be addressing and talking about is a question that one of my subscribers recently asked me. And one of my subscribers asked if I could do a video around providing some tips for overcoming a lower back injury and returning to high performance, whether that's athletics or just weightlifting in the gym. So this is what we're going to be talking about in today's video, is getting to that point where you're overcoming your lower back injury and now trying to get back to athletics, weightlifting, whatever your goal may be. So to begin, guys, one of the key things in any program like this is patience. Now, when I say patience though, patience with a good recovery and good quality program. Because if you're patient with a program that's not working for you, things aren't going to work out. You're only going to get frustrated. You're only going to get miserable. And then more problems may develop. But you do need to be patient with a good quality recovery program. So keep in mind, guys, it took me 3.5 years to get back to high performance, that being returning to hockey and also returning to deadlifting and weightlifting some serious weight. Because the thing is that after I'd kind of made that relatively pain-free recovery, which took about 1.5 to 2 years, I wasn't 100% comfortable yet, and I didn't feel like I was ready to really jump back into things because number one, I was afraid of re-injuring myself. I just didn't feel like my body at the same time was prepared for that type of activity at the same time. So when it comes to your recovery program, like I said, patience is important, but the key would be getting to that pain-free stage first. So identifying your pain triggers, and then removing them as best as possible, sticking to your pain-free positions, addressing any imbalances, improving movement patterns, improving your posture, improving motor patterns, whatever it is. Addressing all that in the recovery program and then getting to the pain-free stage would be step one or the first part of the stage. Once you get there and you've established more of a pain-free lifestyle or relatively pain-free lifestyle, you can now start working to developing a program that is going to return you to high performance. Now that could be athletics, like maybe hockey or basketball as your sport, or maybe it's returning to weightlifting. You just want to recreationally weightlift in the gym, maybe build some muscle. Or maybe it's just you're looking to return to your daily job, which you may work in a factory, work on the line or whatnot. So the key now would be is to identify the requirements of that sport, of that job, or of that activity. So if we were to use the example of hockey now, and myself just being a former hockey player as well, we have to identify the requirements of that sport. So number one would be, okay, so I had issues bending over. So we have to modify the way I may carry a hockey bag. Because if you see hockey players, they're always carrying a hockey bag on the shoulder. They're always in this bent over rounded position, which is going to stress the low back. At the same time, if you ever look at a hockey player, the way they're tying their skates, they're always in this rounded flexion motion, and this could trigger one's pain. So adjusting that is another thing that one would have to do in order to spare the spine. Same thing when you're sitting on the bench or whatnot. A lot of hockey players, or even this could be basketball players, they're always bent over just because they're tired. So maintaining a proper and good posture would be critical on the bench to help spare the spine as well. Maybe you're standing up instead of sitting, or whatever the case may be. So that's some ways that we could spare the spine during the activity now. Now, at the same time, we have to also prepare for that activity as well. So one would have to maybe get used to skating again, get used to shooting again, but we don't want to throw them right into a high performance competitive game right away. Maybe they just go around, skate on the ice for an hour, do some real basic drills, some shooting drills just to get a feel for it, and then slowly progress, start ramping things up, start increasing things, and then maybe try playing in a game, maybe a pickup game, scrimmage game, see how that feels, and then slowly start to progress in the program and slowly start to move forward. So if you are starting to feel good, then that would be a good indication to move forward. But you don't want to rush things or jump into things right away, because if you do, you could end up at square one again, which is what you don't want. So you have to be really careful and cautious. So I'll give you guys an example. So once I made my pain-free recovery, there were a couple times where I tried playing hockey just once or twice. So this was between roughly years 2 and 3.5 there. I tried playing hockey about 2-3 times. I just went out there and played, but I just wanted to get a feel for it. And I felt fine, but I didn't feel like I was ready to be playing once every week or twice every week or 3 times every week. So I just laced them up a couple times and felt fine and felt good. But like I said, wasn't ready to get into something that was really consistent. And I had to really build a foundation and also allow for my body to still recover and heal from my injury. Even though I was at that pain-free stage, I still, as you can see by my MRIs, still have a herniated disc that exists. So I still need to be extra careful. But also starting to develop stability, any additional motor movement patterns or imbalances that may exist. So addressing those with different exercises and just sparing the spine on a daily basis. So like I mentioned, avoiding activities that involve bending over or just poor sitting postures that may rob me of performance in terms of my lower back and what I could work with. Now, a few other things to keep in mind, guys, is that as you move through your days and whatnot, keep in mind when you engage in activities like sitting, or maybe you're standing on your feet all day, you're accumulating stress to the low back. So that's going to rob you of performance when you go into the gym or when you go to play hockey. So now I personally, if I find myself in a position where I'm sitting for a couple hours for a prolonged period of time, I won't go do any serious weightlifting or anything crazy in the gym afterwards, because I already know that I used a lot of my capacity in my lower back, and because I don't have that same capacity, I know my performance is going to be affected in the gym, and therefore I won't go seriously heavy or do anything crazy, because I know I want to be at my best when lifting at heavy weight, or if I'm going to lift at heavy weight, because I want to minimize the risk for injury or for future problems developing. So that's something that I just consistently monitor on a daily basis. And that's for myself, but also with individuals that I work with too. I want to know things, how they're going on a daily basis, because if things aren't working, then the program needs to be adjusted. Maybe we have to cut a workout back, or cut a whole exercise off, or a whole workout off, just to allow for some rest and for some recovery, whether that's maybe from a central nervous system recovery they may need, or just maybe their whole body, they may be sleep deprived, whatever the case may be. I'm just kind of throwing some examples out there. Or maybe, like I said, the lower back was just really stressed from sitting or standing for a long period of time, so maybe they need the day off. So I'm just kind of giving you guys some perspective of how to approach this now. So anyways, after all that is kind of established and you continuously start to feel better and better, then you can start to ramp things up. Okay, so now we can, we tried hockey out, it felt good. Now we can maybe go once every other week, and if that feels good now, then we can go once every week now. And if that feels good, we can go twice a week, 3 times a week. The key thing is to understand that you have to maintain good spine hygiene on a daily basis. So like I said, if you're maybe sitting all day or standing all day prior to working out or prior to going to lift in the gym, it's probably not the best idea to be going to play hockey or going to weightlift afterwards, because that's how you're increasing the risk for injury from doing all that sitting and standing all day, accumulating that fatigue and stress on the low back. So it's something to keep in mind, guys. And that's the biggest thing when it comes to returning to that high performance level. You have to manage things accordingly and appropriately, and listen to your body. That is the biggest thing that I think I could share with you guys, is listen to your body. How do you feel? If something doesn't feel good, that's an indication you probably need to regress and take things back. And that's okay. It's not to get discouraged. Just be considerate of that. Your body's telling you that you need to recover. You're not indestructible, and you don't want to cause further problems. So if you have to regress, that's fine. Now, if you're feeling good and whatnot, then that's probably a good indication that you can progress and move forward. And just be cautious of that and monitor things appropriately. So that's kind of things in a nutshell, guys, that I could share with you. I could continue to go on this into further detail and really break things down, but that's kind of the general concept to it all, is to just be careful with your body, listen to it, monitor it, and progress as need be or regress as need be, and listen to your body. And that's the key thing to understand in all of this, because you don't want to end up at square one again. But with that being said, guys, I will say that going through this injury myself has made me a much better coach, because I can understand what an athlete or an individual may be going through in terms of an injury or if they're feeling fatigued or whatnot. And I know when to maybe cut back their workout or to regress things. So it's made me personally a better coach. That's probably one of the big takeaways I could have from this injury in terms of a positive, is just to have a better understanding of what other people are going through and to better coach them through the process and get them back to that high performance level. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today, because that was a question from one of my subscribers. I just wanted to put that into a video, and hopefully this video helps you guys out. If you guys have any questions, any comments, be sure to leave a comment below or whatever it is, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you guys have. Okay guys, so hopefully this video helps you out, maybe provide some encouragement or just maybe some tips for getting back to that high performance level after sustaining a lower back injury. And if it does, that's awesome. And with that being said though guys, this is the end of the video. And until next time, take care.